Let us continue by requesting Shri Nachiket Kodkani, Senior Vice President Manufacturing, Farm Equipment, Mahindra and Mahindra Limited. Sir, please.
My dear colleagues, dignitaries on the dais, it's an honor to be here today on this platform with such an august collection of scientists, entrepreneurs, all together. And as I look at the list of dignitaries, I think most of them have themselves been writing papers, PhDs, and experts in the material world. I come from a manufacturing background. I'm not an expert in materials, but I use and apply all the technologies, all the processes that you all develop, and we bring to you products that you use every day. You are well aware of our latest offerings of XUVs 700 and the electric 400. You are also aware of the latest trends in tractor technologies that we have established. I need not say more on those aspects because most of you are today users and you can see the latest technologies being incorporated into those. Rather than talking about what materials, because Mr. Sapre and everybody has spoken a lot on materials, you all here are experts. I would rather give a personal perspective on materials. Till maybe 2 years back, I was looking at materials as a requirement of products, satisfying regulations, upgrading to new technology as a process. What happened 2 years back is when I was traveling from Mangaon to Bombay, the Goa-Bombay highway, with my family, I met with an accident. And the accident was a sequential accident. 5 cars hit each other and it was like a chain of events. Fortunately, nothing happened. Me and my family got out of the car and we were standing aside. The driver was still in the car. And I was watching the whole crowd there and some arguments going on. And you won't believe I was very happy looking at the arguments. Because the best part of the event was not a single man out of all the 5 cars had a scratch. Everybody had damaged cars to some extent. Now how do you relate this to materials? I was wondering that we have got better roads, better cars, speedier cars, but also safer cars, if you really look at it. And I was looking at what kind of technology. Till that time I was using a car. But then I was awed by the technology that was there. You look at, and thanks to all of you here, we have high carbon steel, tensile steels, tailor welded blanks, carbon fibers, aluminum alloys to absorb shocks, aluminum hoods for pedestrian safety, seatbelt technologies, airbags, shatterproof glasses. I can go on and on and on. I think the most of the material world and the heat treatment world, whatever it has produced, the best of the best goes into manufacturing of cars, because that is one thing which provides you scale, and that is one thing which gives support to all the inventions that happen. I was like awed that knowingly, unknowingly, we are using so many products, so many technologies. Now, when I was traveling back, I realized one thing. This particular event here is about defense, transportation sectors are there, and the solar sector is there. What is the thread that binds it together? If you look at globally, the defense is the biggest spender, and you will find research and development happens most in the defense sector. And that defense is the area where most of the innovations have been happening over the past maybe decades. Today, what we see today is most of the products you will find their origins somewhere in the military operations or the defense. I was just reflecting when I was coming. If I just take my phone, for example, if you look at my phone, you are talking about a digital camera, which everybody of us use. The origin started with the spy satellites, way back in World War II, where it was conceptualized. You talk about internet, it is a 1970 element of ARPANET. It's a prodigy of that, which US was using it in the Cold War. It's a better version of that. If you talk about many things, like you talk about wireless communication, walkie-talkies, World War II. If you talk about GPS that we are using, that is also comes from the defense areas. So if you look at further, if you look at microwave, simple radar technology converted by accident to microwave technology. So all those we are using are somewhere made in 1940s to 1970s by the defense forces, and it took us close to 30-40 years to come to this position where we are commercially using it. The drone itself, what we are today very happy about, it is we see it everywhere, is basically an auto-guided vehicle which was done somewhere in 1970s, 1980s. And today drone is everywhere, to the extent that we are using drones for firefighting, we are also using drones for agriculture, for sprays. So from a position of spy in the defense. So what I'm looking at is maybe few years back, it took us 30-40 years for a product to mature. And if you look at today, the product maturity period takes quite less. And such kind of programs where the defense and the transport, because transport is very important. If you look at transport, the cars, the trucks, or any time, I would say it is the largest consumption, or gives it volume. When I say it gives it volume, it brings in scale. And when you get scale, it is possible to convert all these inventions or innovations into reality. Had we, if you look at mobiles, if the scale was not there, bringing the digital camera to a 10,000 rupee phone was not possible. So what you need is scale. What I want to convey here is such programs. When you come here and when we are here, we already have a stall here, and so you can go look at the technologies that are there in our products. But when you come here to my colleagues and everybody here, don't look at technology for it is what it is now. Look at options of how it can be horizontal deployed, what cross pollinations can happen, and how we can take it further. Because if you look at 60% of the technologies are basically cross pollinated. You build for something and you end up having a byproduct which gives you much more returns than the product itself. So all the best, and thank you for the event organizers for such a wonderful program and event where all the sectors are able to come together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.